version of shopping that doesn't feel like a chore, and Podium Edmonds is it. You walk in, Nick, the owner, greets you.
What's up, dude?
Massive Sounders fan, probably someone you've already argued with or agreed with in our comment section at some point, and suddenly you're 45 minutes deep into a conversation about the latest Sounders news, and you haven't even looked at the clothes yet.
Let me show you around.
And then you do look around, and everything in there is the kind of thing you buy once and keep forever. Filson, Red Wing, Heritage, Taylor Stitch, Portuguese flannel, nudie jeans, wax London, domestic and European brands, built properly, meant to last. They're at 114 4th Avenue North, right in the heart of downtown, and Nick is going to take good care of you. LobbingScorchers.com/podium. Are we back? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your post-match live as the press conference blasts in my ears.
I can hear it.
Okay. It's messing with my intro right now. But the Seattle Sounders just played a game at FC Cincinnati. Sorry, I'm talking over somebody right now. Seattle Sounders just played a game at FC Cincinnati, and they did not lose. It's a 1-1 draw. And they might have a new designated player. So Noah, instead of fumbling through this anymore as I continue to try and talk someone over who's talking in my ear, what's up, man? A non-loss to talk about and what is this? A non-loss to talk about and a new striker. I mean, we got so much to get to, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I was supposed to be on vacation. I was supposed to not be here. I was supposed to be doing anything else but talking about the Seattle Sounders, and instead I had to break out my Sporting Kansas City scarf and watch the team not lose. As you said, are we back? Have we ever been more back?
I don't know if being back can be fully declared yet. But it's certainly the vibes, they feel they're much different at the very least right now than they have really over the last couple of months. And I think that was going to be true regardless of how the game went, because this Dejan Joveljić report, which we're going to talk about a lot, that dropped right in the middle of the game. And at that point, okay, wait, sorry, presser's going. Let's get
guys. Thank you both very much for making the time this evening. We're going to get going right away, starting with a question from Jeremiah O'Shea. Jeremiah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, if you guys, how does it just feel to not have to talk to us about a loss? I guess you can start there.
Jeremiah started off like that. Okay. This is definitely something to build off. And I can tell you that, there were a lot of proud and happy faces in the locker room today. That's a big result, hugely rotated lineup, backs against the wall in a lot of ways. And I'll speak from my perspective. I'm really proud of the team today. And I think a lot of guys have a lot to be proud of tonight. So, we have been talking, a number of us, Steph's kind of leading the charge on that, of finding something to build off. And there was, there were several things to build off from the performance tonight. So, now we've got to stack another one like this.
All right, next question will go to Jada Evans. Jada, you should be good. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Congratulations, though, you guys, on getting the draw. Paul, after Evander scored, you seemed to motion to gather the team. If that's the way that gesture was, I mean, can you say what you said to them as captain, and how you guys kind of stuck together to be able to get that late goal?
Yeah, I think we've had a tendency in the last couple of games to, let things kind of domino, and I wanted to make sure that didn't happen tonight. And credit to everyone for not letting that happen. I thought we responded to the goal pretty well, and that's kind of an unlucky goal to give up. I think, everyone gets back. Andrew makes a big save. We make a block on the line, and then it still just falls right to, their best guy. But, wanted to get the group together in that moment, regroup a little bit. We were under it a bit, talked a few things out right there. I think we regrouped well at halftime too. So, in these in these moments and in these difficult stretches, all you can do is, focus on good behaviors and good reactions to things, and believe that, that good moment is right around the corner. And, we almost won the game tonight too. So I think we put ourselves in a good position to do that. And yeah, proud of a lot of people, especially this guy, for making a play.
Yeah, that was gonna be my second thing, was just Kalani, if you could talk a little bit about that and, having it stand, actually count for something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like Paul said, I mean, it's huge. And when you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go, is up, and you got to make that first step. And this was a great first step for us. I think that on that play, like one thing we really talked about with these guys was that when you break that first line of pressure, they are a bit lazy to get back their front line. So, and it kind of applies everywhere on the field, especially when they're in their own half in the whatever 70, I don't even know what minute it was, but very late in the game. And when Nuhu made that tackle, I knew that there'd be a guy behind me. So I just turned as fast as I could. And then, like I said, they were lazy to get back. Albert's wide open out there, and he gets to run right into the box. And then, yeah, he's always looking for that cutback. So I just held my run, and he put it on a platter.
All right, George, over to you. Please go ahead and ask your question.
From you, and I think it's very fitting that you were the captain today. I wanted to know, when you look at the guy next to you, if you also see him as a future Sounders captain, because I think Kalani has shown a lot of leadership and showing up in big moments as well.
Yeah, I do. I think this guy has a lot of what it means to be a Sounder. I think the performance tonight, I said that in the room after, we looked like the Sounders again tonight. Obviously we've got a number of guys out, and it's partly why I wore the armband tonight, but it's not something I take lightly. I take a lot of pride in wearing that today, and I'm excited to get back some other senior leaders too. And but yeah, I think through this difficult stretch, a positive has been that some younger guys and some guys kind of in the middle of our roster have had to step into bigger senior roles, and that's only going to bode well for us at the end of the year. So younger guys getting a lot more minutes than I think everybody expected, and in showing up. I'll use like Stuart Hawkins as an example, but guys like the two of us having to step into to greater senior leadership roles too in different moments, and those are good growing moments for us too.
For sure.
Okay, next question to Felipe Makeda. Go ahead, please, Felipe.
Thank you. Paul, during the game, in the beginning of the game, you were going back to defend. Even you stood on the line, on the goal, and then you were going back and forth. And then the second half, you were playing like you used to, like you like to, going up, and then the cross that you made, the assistance, and then you were a captain for the first time. For you personally, for you, what does it mean to be a Sounders player? You just said this guy Kalani has what he needs to be a Sounder, but in your opinion, what it is that?
I think it's a lot of different things, but you guys have heard Schmetzer before use the word grit, and I think it takes a lot of determination. The guys who I think of in the past who have held this club up on their back, I think of guys like Zach Scott, and we have guys in the locker room too who have just year after year put in consistent performances, game after game, year after year, and made plays when it really matters. So I would say that, and then just being good human beings. This guy next to me is a great human being. that makes a huge difference in the day-to-day, in the locker room, and makes it easier to come to work every day. So I think it takes a lot to be a Sounder, and that's something that you learn as you come here, and something that you can different guys can grow into, and we've got young guys too who can grow into that too. But and as far as what you were saying, me getting up higher in the field in different moments versus coming back, I think it was just the way the game flowed and what it asked of me. I think the first half we were under it a lot. They were making a lot of runs in behind. Echenike, it's a good little player, made a lot of runs off my back shoulder, so I was being careful with that. They were trying to overload our side, and then second half picking the moments when to go forward and when to push the line up a little bit more. This is a group who's had a lot of minutes as well. Myself managing myself in different moments and picking the right times to run was really important tonight. So that's how I approached that.
All right, time for one or two more. Jeremiah, go ahead and ask your follow-up, please.
Yeah, Kalani, if you could just speak to sort of the determination that you felt in the team after you guys got your goal, to not just make it stand up, but for you guys to keep pushing forward and to look for a potential winner.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like Paul was saying, what it means to be a Sounder, a lot of it is too just the consistency. And you look at the history of our team, and there's players in and out who are these really high end players, but for the most part, we're not getting any Messis or Ronaldos coming through. We're a team of guys who are built up kind of from the ground up, and I think it translates perfectly to this game. And that's partly why it's been so frustrating recently, is because we haven't been that team that stacks days and just consistently puts in the work in these games. And I think that we struggled with injuries and everything, but in a game like this, I think we kind of found our mojo again. And it's hard playing all these away games, and like Paul said, we got minutes stacked upon minutes on a lot of players, and so it's really easy to get tired in these games, and it's also defeating. Like when teams are really beating you down and just going over and over again, it's hard to find that motivation. But our subs really helped today, I'll say. Just coming in and giving us a little bit of energy, and that's exactly what we need from those older guys that we talked to, or Schmetzer talked about them before the game and said, like, look, they're gonna rest a little bit, and then they know they're gonna play still. They're the guys that we need to really put in the work when they come on the field. So when they come on the field, that definitely gave us a little burst, and then obviously scoring the goal energized us big time. And being in a spot where we can collect points in such late in the game is a spot, sadly, we haven't been in the past couple games. So being in that spot, I think, motivated us and was like, all right, here we go. This is a chance that is right in front of us, and we just have to run 10 more hard minutes. And then in that, they once we scored, they kind of the momentum kind of switched, and they got a little bit demoralized, and that's when we're able to capitalize a little bit more and slow the game down to our pace. When we get that many set pieces in a row, it's always a good thing, especially late in the game when you got guys who are tired on their team and don't want to defend. It just makes it worse for them. So I mean, I think we used the momentum and then obviously scoring and putting ourselves in a position where we can still pick up a point on the road was huge. So a little bit of everything gave us the motivation.
Guys, we're going to leave it there. We know you have a long flight home. Thank you both very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
As we say goodbye to the players, we'll get ready to hear from head coach Brian Schmetzer. As always, if you have a question for him,
incredible.
From KKR and Paul Rothrock in a post-game press conference that was very different vibe and disposition than the post-game press conferences that we have been seeing here lately. And I guess, Noah, while we wait for Schmetz, I want to talk, a lot about Dejan Joveljić on this show. But, while we're in between player presser and Schmetz presser here, let's talk about the game itself a little bit because, it was a losing streak ending.
Let me be real with you, Ari. The second that we got the Dejan Joveljić news, I was not watching anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. I poured myself a beverage and I said, frankly, I don't care. I don't care.
And it's funny because we've been kind of joking about achieving nirvana on this show, but even before the Dejan Joveljić stuff broke, I was thinking to myself, like, this is as not nervous as I've ever been for a game ever. But I guess that's where we can start with our takeaways from the game, which is that, I don't want to overstate the significance of a 1-1 draw, but okay, I'm halfway through my take, but there's Schmetz. Let's get Schmetz in here.
Brian, thanks for sitting down. Would you like to go straight to questions?
Sure.
All right, great. Jeremiah, why don't you kick us off, please?
Well, first off, Brian, congratulations on a pretty big result. You had a heavily rotated lineup. You fell behind early, but you guys just sort of gutted out a result there, and we're actually in a position to win the game. How much of a potential turning point do you feel like this could be?
It was a building block, is what I kind of said after the game. Because look, this season we still have a long ways to go. I mean, we're still getting guys back. We still got a few guys dinged up. But the foundation was laid even, maybe the game before against Austin because the second half was good. This was a classic Sounder road victory. A lot of times I say a draw is like a loss, but this feels like a win. And also, Jeremiah, I was just in the back there watching the replay. I mean, Danny Musovski, I've seen him score that header like 10 out of 10 times. I mean, we could have, stolen all 3 points. And, part of the stuff I want to talk about is, we talked about Evander, playing in games like this, get under his skin. He is a talented player, but yeah, young Stewart, Hawkins, Peter Kingston in the first half, nipping at his heels, Ryan Saylor having to deal with, the forward that they had in the first half. And then Denke coming on and, him doing an excellent job. That back line, Tina Lopez starting the game, and then Peter and Snyder in the middle of the park were very good. And then you layer in some of the attacking movements. According to one publication, there might be others out there that dispute this, but The Athletic said that we had 1.43 expected goals, and they only had 1.38. So, it's a small difference, but again, we're just trying to find some positives and try and, give the guys some belief, and this certainly helped.
All right, Jada, over to you, please.
Thank you. Brian, the broadcast was taken over, and I think the internet too, as far as you guys possibly acquiring a player from Sporting Kansas City. And excuse me, I've got a cold. What can you say about, or can you say anything about those? Excuse me. Excuse me.
I know you're
sorry, I've got a cold.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. Get better soon. Look, until it's official, it's still a rumor. So obviously, Joveljić is a very talented player. I think he would fit well with our squad. But until anything is official, I can't comment on it.
Yeah.
I told you guys, a week ago and last couple of scrums that, that the team, the guys upstairs, Adrian and Craig and Sean and everybody, they've been working on stuff. And so I'll wait till we get confirmation before I make an official statement.
With that, is it if you, regardless of the player, how could they integrate? How quickly could they integrate? If you were a acquired person, I mean, is it that they could roll out on for the Chicago game, or how many games?
That is a great question, Jada, because look, had we gone after a target from Europe, which there were some, that takes a little bit longer to get a P1, get a visa, all that sort of stuff. With Dejan, it's, he knows the league, he can come in and it's plug and play. So again, credit to Craig, and if it happens, let's talk about it then.
All right, we'll keep going here to George. Go ahead, please, George.
The tactical formation, it looks like you had the three in the back. Was that something that is just for Cincinnati, or is that something that you want to move forward? And also the leadership qualities of Paul Rusnák. I think the captain hairband really suits him.
Well, Paul was a good part of the squad. The tactics were to simplify and match up against Cincinnati. It showed the flexibility and the players understanding the different tactics for different opponents, which is, the sign of a smart soccer team. So very pleased with the outcome of the game. And again, I thought we could have won it at the end. We had a couple chances. Obviously, they had a couple chances, and Andrew stood up big tonight. He was very, very large. Had a very good performance. So again, it's a building block.
Reminder, if you have a question for head coach Brian Schmetzer, please hit that raised hand function button for us. Jeremiah, I see you have a follow-up. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Kalani getting that goal, you've been able to get some goals from unexpected places when you've gotten goals. But I guess how important was it to finally get a goal contribution from Albert in a game like this where, it's from open play? I know he had an assist in the last game as well, but for him to get an open play assist, to have him come off the bench to do that, and to sort of have a big moment from one of your big players, which is just not something you've had a lot of recently.
Well, Albert's a super talented player, and if we have him for the next few years, fine by I'd talk about the kid, because Kalani has made plays, and I don't know, I think my crack stat staff over there can give me a quick answer, but I think Kalani is our second leading scorer in regular season, maybe. Paul, I think, has 5, Kalani 3 now, but Kalani makes plays. And, Kalani and Paul were pretty effective wingbacks. I mean, when you guys rewatch the tape, because I'm certainly going to rewatch the tape, I mean, it almost suits Kalani better, that position. And Paul might be a better winger, out-and-out winger, but he certainly performed well as a wingback in a back line of 5. So, those are choices that we're going to have to take a look at. He's tied with Albert and Christian now. Second leading scorer on the team.
George, we'll go back your way. You got to come off mute, George.
I wanted to know if, on top of the rumors that have been reported, there are other players that the Sounders are looking at.
They are looking at other players, yes.
All right. Any other questions here before we wrap things up? Coach, safe travels home.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
That concludes tonight's post-match press conferences.
That concludes tonight's post-match press conference. If you have anything or any interest, please reach out. Blah, 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 blah.
George, you're on mute. There you have it from Brian Schmetzer. And Noah, let's just get right into our reactions, because I do want to talk a lot. I want to talk a lot of Dejan Joveljić. But let's each, how about we each give one thought just on the game itself, and we don't have to go super in depth on it. But I do want to just talk about this result a little bit, because outside of this big breaking news, this was an important result. And I think a performance that people didn't expect. When I saw this lineup, I was actually kind of stoked, just because we'd been saying that we kind of just wanted to see them do something different. Yeah. And so I'm not going to advocate for them throwing some curveballs out there, and then when Schmetzer actually does it, crash out about it. I would have been more annoyed if there was if it felt like it was running it back with something that we'd already seen. But no, there was definitely a lot going on with this lineup. But did anyone, be honest, did anyone think there was any chance at all they were going to take a result in this game with that lineup? No.
I thought, maybe at this point a draw would be in the cards, just because it's a classic trap game for a team like FC Cincinnati where you have a bunch of kids who want it. But other than that, did I really believe that was going to happen? No. You
were tweeting about how Evander was going to pump 7 in there. So I mean,
did.
that's
yeah.
I don't I think that's where a lot of people's heads were at, and I think we should give the squad credit. I don't want to overstate the importance of a 1-1 draw amid a 8-game losing streak, but no one thought they were going to take a result in this game. They played a lot better than I think most people expected. They got a gutsy equalizer. Albert Rusnák, Ghostnak, comes off the bench, gets the equalizing assist. So I don't think this result is for nothing. If they had gone out there and gotten waxed and run off the field 5-0, every single one of us would be sitting here and be saying, "Oh, well, that's what we expected." So the fact that they went out there and didn't do that, that was a gutsy effort from the team tonight. I don't want to look past that.
I've got, big shout out to Andrew Thomas, who a lot of people have been down on. This is exactly the type of performance that you have come to expect from him. He's back. I mean, yes, he was in a slump, but this game shows that he absolutely is the man for the job. He had 7 saves tonight, only conceded 1 goal. And was it a little bit of a goalkeeper error? I don't even know. It was one of those situations where he has a tough look. He makes the initial save. It rebounds. There's another save made. Maybe Tino needs to make sure he has eyes on Evander, because Evander's going to score that goal. There's literally no in between. It's Evander scores that goal or he sends it into outer space. There's literally no, that's the Evander classic. But I think either way, you maybe have to pay attention. But other than that concession, the defense looked good. And what are you going to do there? So big shout out to Andrew Thomas. People were saying it in chat as well. Ryan Saylor, we love it. He defended his country, he defended his nation, and he
stormed the attack. Yeah. No, in all seriousness, the Ryan Saylor Stu Hawks CB combo, I had no real complaints about it. Stu Hawks continues to look good. So yeah, and then I think also because when they went down 1-0, did anyone have faith that they were going to be able to scrounge out an equalizer? I really didn't. So the fact that they did, Kalani gets on the score sheet. This would have been if it did not come within the context of an 8-game record-breaking losing streak, a 1-1 away at Cincinnati against this Cincy team, where you claw back an equalizer in the 80 whatever minute, that would be an actively good result under normal circumstances, which I understand we're not.
It is a good result.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's a bad result. I think objectively, if we're sitting here anytime, even with this losing streak, it's an even better. I think it's a better result now because it has broken the losing streak. But truthfully, yeah, if we're middle of the season and we're looking at this, we're like, yeah, okay, you win you take a point home. We always say anytime you take a point home in MLS on the road, that's a good result.
Yeah, the only reason I think it doesn't feel like that great of a result is because of how many L's they've been taking lately, which is famously a lot. So just in terms of what it does for you on the table, 3 points is a lot more crucial than 1 right now. But I also don't think we're not exactly in a position to be greedy as far as stuff like that goes right now. This team needed to stop the bleeding. They needed to get a result. They needed a game where they dug deep and fought their way out of the adversity that they were under. And they did that tonight for the first time in a long time. And with a lineup that, again, no one had any expectations for at all. I mean, before the Joveljić stuff broke, I had a big plan to just bust out the lineup and talk about because this, out of all the fun, wild, wacky novelty lineups that we've seen in our time doing this was this was up there. So
I think the one thing that even Brian said is like 10 times out of 10 times Moose scores that. So you do look at that and you're like, well, this is at least like somewhat of a cope. Like it's I feel like we can cope respectfully. We can respectfully cope and be like, this could have been a win. Like, we're getting reinforcements. Back to reality part of it, I would say, like, is this going to solve the solution? No, I don't think, and we'll get into the Joveljić signing, but it's like, you got to kind of take what you can get at this point. And I mean, I'll take this all day.
Yeah. Should we talk about what the people want us to talk about now?
I mean, let's get into it, and then I'll let you take some calls, and I'll get back to my vacationing. I mean, it's just
let's just maybe some people aren't up on what's been going on. This just broke during the game, so
let's show them. Maybe we could hold on. Let me pull up the article.
Okay.
Let me pull up the article, guys. If you haven't read, you could get breaking news sent directly to your email. If you guys join up on lobbingscorchers.com here.
There we go. See, blogging away. There's my byline. Seattle Sounders reportedly set to acquire a one Dejan Joveljić from Sporting Kansas City. That's right. The Dejan Joveljić, formerly of LA Galaxy fame, most recently of Sporting Kansas City fame, and also of 2024 MLS playoffs fame when he scored the goal that knocked the Seattle Sounders out of the playoffs in the Western Conference Championship. But needless to say, one of the most proven, I would say, number 9s in all of MLS at the moment when you're talking about just his recent track record of production and his statistics and all of that. So obviously, as Schmetzer noted, it's not finalized yet, but it seems like, when you see Fabs Romano and you see, here we go, it feels like it's formalities at this point. Like, it's not like a situation where we're just baselessly rumor mongering. Like, this is reported. Fabs tweeted it. Tom Bogues confirmed it. So like this, it seems like, is happening, barring any last minute, snafus with the paperwork or the medicals or the physical, whatever, stuff like that can always happen. But assuming everything checks out, then Dejan Joveljić is ostensibly about to be a Seattle Sounder, which I guess, Noah, I'm dying to hear your reaction to this news, because not only is it linking the Seattle Sounders to a number 9, but I mean, this is a number 9 that we know very, very well. This is the number 9 who led the LA Galaxy 2024 squad that the triple P's.
The point of the P's.
Yeah, and we actually have discussed him specifically as a theoretical intra-league target, and I guess that's my first reaction is, if you were to make a list of number 9s within the league that are proven and have the pedigree and track record to merit being targets for the Seattle Sounders for a move like this, Dejan Joveljić is not only on the short list, he might be the top of it. There's only so many guys that you could name. Hugo Kuipers is another one that I would have said in that discussion.
I might have preferred him, but that's whatever.
To me, that's like almost like splitting hairs. It's a wash. It's like, that's a pretty similar tier to me, which I think speaks to Dejan Joveljić's track record. So, I mean, we could talk about it more, but my first reaction is that it's kind of nails, Noah. Like, it's kind of nails. I don't want to say that Craig Weibel is cooking and that you might have bad taste. I'm just saying, like, I don't think I can knock this, even though it's an intra MLS move, which I'm sure we'll have ambition discourse because he's been playing in MLS, and it is a little like Albert Rusnák and Jesus Ferreira in that way. But I don't know. To me, this is different. What do you think?
I mean, price tag wise, I think it is interesting. It signals almost a shift from what we had been hearing in terms of rumors. We went from these pretty unknown, smaller time, kind of like average European players where you're looking at salaries that aren't necessarily making them DPs, but their transfer fees are making them DPs. Now you're moving into a straight cash for DP in Dejan Joveljić, who's been a DP twice already in MLS, or one time. He was U22 and then DP with Sporting, and he's been transferred into the league multiple times. It makes it and it's not one of those transfers like the Chucky Lozano transfer, which I think honestly maybe even some LA Galaxy fans might be feeling a little bit sold out maybe with that transfer when you could be having a player like Joveljić. So it's the fee seems right. The fee seems good. Sporting seem to be taking they're making some money on this transfer. They paid $4 million. We're allegedly paying $6 million. Who knows how that's going to break out, what that's going to look like. But I think I think the whole thing is super interesting. I'm really excited. I don't think that it solves all of the problems, but it at least shows you the cards of like how you can build, how you can move forward. You have Albert Rusnák coming off of a DP, according to some reporting, being extended, which I talked about.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. Yeah.
This is kind of the only way. But now you have two DP number 9s in Jordan Morris. What do you do with Jordan Morris? What do you do with Pedro de la Vega? So I'm interested to see if this is my question for you before we dive into more of this, is if this is the only move this summer, is that enough? As much as we are excited, if this is the only move this summer, is that enough?
I don't think so. I think it's a really good start, and I think it definitely addresses a clear need. And I like how theoretically, I don't want to use the term safe, but it seems high percentage, right? But like, I still think this team needs help in midfield beyond the plan of just Christian, come back and please fix everything. So I would say that I still think they need reinforcements in that area of the field, and really just planning for the future in that area of the field. So if they don't do that and the midfield looks exactly the same, and they're still in these situations where they have to run Snyder and Peter Kingston out of position and stuff, I would say that they have not done enough to really get themselves fully out of the situation that they've been in. But I mean, I think this was an important step. You know, I think we all agree, even me, who I famously defended the state of the number 9 situation last year, when, to be fair, you know, they did rack up a fair amount of goals last year, but I think we all came to the ultimate same conclusion that this is an area that needed to be addressed. And I say that even with the knowledge that we've talked about how, like, if you can't fix the chance generation, then it doesn't matter who the number 9 is. And I still think that's true. And I was watching some of this game tonight through the lens of like, all right, would Dejan Joveljić, if he was on the field right now, would that help this situation? And there were stretches of the game where I was like, not really, man. Like, they're not, what chances are they generating that he would be able to finish right now? None. So that is true. But then late in the game, Danny Musovski has a wide open header that he's unable to put on frame. And I was like, oh, that's a chance that a guy like Dejan Joveljić probably has a higher percentage odds of putting away and winning you. That's what a needle moving kind of striker, number 9, can do in those situations. And we actually did see an example of where that would have helped and could have helped. So yeah. What about you?
I mean, I agree. I think, you know, I think you have to kind of look at Sporting Kansas City's roster right now and compare it to what the Sounders are playing with and see that, like, Joveljić is struggling without service. He is a player who needs that. So you do have to build out around him. You do actually have to, like, provide him with the players that do make him successful. And I mean, obviously Sporting Kansas City is in the midst of a massive rebuild. So like, I don't know how much to consider that, but even on the worst team in the league, he has 8 goals, 1 assist in 20 matches, which that beats out any of our number 9s. That would be our top scorer on the team in regular season play. So, you know, he is an upgrade absolutely at that position. I think what the question is now is who's your backup? Is it gonna be Moose? You have him under contract. Is it going to be Osaze? You have him under contract.
I like all 3 of the guys who've been fighting for the starting job. I like them as like depth options
Jordan
behind
Morris
Joveljić much better. Yeah, honestly.
Jordan, do you convert Jordan Morris to a winger? He's on a DP. What do you do with his contract?
Yeah.
Do you extend him? Do you try and trade him? What do you do? I think that this move it kind of breaks loose a lot of things that you have to now figure out. And yeah, I mean,
Well, so let's
if
talk
this
about
is
the
just like this is all we're gonna do signing, I don't love it. If this is a start, I love it. I love
let's
it.
talk
It's a
about
great-
the Rusnák component of it, because Nico did report that in order to free up the DP slot, they are extending Albert Rusnák with a 2.5-year extension, and that will get him off the DP slot, which I've seen some mixed reaction to that. Obviously, some people are very unhappy about the prospect of an Albert Rusnák extension. But am I like deluding myself, or is Albert Rusnák on not a DP spot a lot more palatable than it would be if you were going into next year, say, with him as one on a DP spot at age 32? Like, if this is the mechanism that it takes to free up that DP spot, I mean, isn't that what people wanted? Like, I understand like the optically of like extending him, but it's to open that spot and fill it with a MLS proven number 9. Like, that seems good. No,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think it's smart business. It's the right move, and it's something that I think we all were kind of. I mean, I had been saying pick any DP and do this. Like, it doesn't really matter. I think Albert's probably the one that's the smartest to do it, because at 2.5 years, he can still probably be productive. Like, I don't think he needs to be the centerpiece anymore. But it's
if he's
like,
not the
man,
centerpiece, yeah.
it's he's still clearly, as he showed today, can be productive. Like, it's not, whatever. He still has value in him too. I think he's a type of player, especially now that he's no longer a DP and on a DP deal. That's someone you can transfer or trade to another MLS team that's struggling way easier on the salary that he's at. And, that also can allow, if Jesus Ferreira wants to step into that starting role in that number 10 position, that also allows that to happen. So it's listen, I think Craig Weibel has had a lot of generally solid critique.
He's been taking some heat lately.
I think that's very valid. I think that this is a really good move, and you've got to give him credit for it. I'm excited to see what happens. Does this solve every problem in the book? No, but I would hope that they wouldn't expect it to.
You're not going to solve every problem that there is right now with a singular move. You got to stack some moves together, string them together. Hopefully this is the first in that process. Hopefully some midfield reinforcements are on the way at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is just kind of the seminal moment for Lobbing Scorchers to have Dejan Joveljić of the Triple P's 2024 LA Galaxy fame actually ostensibly on his way to the Seattle Sounders. And, I don't want to, I feel like because of, when they made the trade for Jesus Ferreira, that was also a seminal moment for us. And a lot of people don't like how that's aged. I would argue, honestly, for the most part, like he's been pretty productive on this team, maybe not in the way that we thought he would be, not in terms of goal scoring, but like this, I think this to me is a bit of a different, it's obviously a different position, but it's a different tier of player.
Yeah. No, I think it is. I mean, this is, one of the best, it's one of the best possible moves within the fee. And, that just goes to show, like, I think regardless of, I think we can all agree the team is broke. Even this move is not like a $25 million. Sporting Kansas City is about to drop $25 million on a guy who, like, I've literally never heard of. But I mean, sure,
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, this is the ethos of the Sounders. Fine, I'll take Dejan Joveljić all day. Like, we've talked about this. Like, within the confines of the money you're willing to spend for $6 million, getting Dejan Joveljić, that's a pretty top tier transfer. At that price point. And to be smart about it, with it being a cash for, you're gonna get. I mean, it's another interesting use of that mechanism. And, they're probably using some Georgie cash for money. They're probably using, I mean, like, think about it. Okay, this isn't a 1-for-1 because there was more money put in, but it's like we essentially traded Georgie and Josh Atencio and Reed Baker Whiting for Dejan Joveljić.
When you put it like that, that makes all these moves feel a lot better, doesn't it?
Feels a little better. I mean, I don't know if
that's why I was trying to say at the time, like, we kind of have to see what they do with this, but then it felt like they were just never going to do anything with it. That was the whole thing. It was like, you can't say that if they never actually spend the resources.
This is what I want to close on for me, and then I'm going to let you take it on here. But would you rather have Joveljić at $6 million than Downs at $10 million or Kasper Tengstedt for $7 million or whatever?
Oh my God. I didn't
want Kasper Tengstedt at all, let alone $7 million. Downs is an awesome player. $10 million was never going to happen. And Dejan Joveljić, $6 million, that looks like I mean, that looks like the best possible move out of all of those.
This is a guy who scored 18 goals last year. He had 8 goals already this season. Like what this team needed was a striker like this who you could just kind of bank on the statistical production like you used to have with Raul. And Moose came out of nowhere and randomly did that last year, but like that wasn't happening this year. You had to do something like this. So I guess like, was there any before you go? Was there any just shock that they actually did something? Because I didn't think they were going to do anything. Do you think it was intentional that they leaked it during this game after they went behind a goal?
I mean, that's definitely possible. I mean, anyone knows how Fabrizio Romano works, it's either agents of the players that send them this information or the clubs themselves. And also it's been known that Fabrizio gets paid to promote this stuff. I think from a PR standpoint, this was absolutely leaked by the club for the game time. And this is just completely like, this has no basis in anything. This is purely like speculation, but I mean, that's how you do PR.
Yeah. So no. Well played, because it totally I think it totally made everyone who pays as close attention to all this stuff as we do kind of not really care about the game anymore, like you said.
Yeah.
And then they ended up salvaging an unexpected result in the game. And so the kind of end haul of this game for Seattle was they come out of this game with the vibes, I think, like meaningfully improved just from a psychological morale standpoint in a way that I was definitely not expecting going into this game. I think we were all kind of feeling a little nihilistic going into this game. It was getting talked about as if this losing streak continuing was like a foregone conclusion. So to come out of that with a new DP striker and a road point, I mean, again, doesn't solve everything, but you gotta start somewhere when you've lost 8 in a row. You do. So
it's true. All right, let's hit these super chats and then I'll dip. I want to say thank you to everyone.
All right, I'm going to drop the link in before.
Sorry for my low energy today, guys. I'm just like I'm on vacation mode. Like I was not expecting to.
Link is going in the chat. Noah, can you pin it?
Oh, yeah. I'll do it in a second.
Okay.
Thank you for the $5 to CW Bar and $5 again from Bar. Cohesion for once, because 9 of our starters have played together for years. That's true. It was a Tacoma Defiance chemistry bond right there. Thank you for the jewels. 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 Shout out to Sailor, had an excellent game. That's true.
Yeah.
We did talk about that, Zippy Tuna. CW Bar should have won it. Looking at you, Moose. Yeah, that was. The fact that he missed was crazy. But Zippy Tuna also said, feels similar to when we signed Jesus, experienced player who I do expect to do amazing for us, but I rate Dejan Joveljić higher. But together they
Jesus Ferreira and Dejan Joveljić playing together in 8 to 10 weeks. Ooh,
that's a 2023 MLS like wet dream. Like I don't even know. Like that's. Thank you for the 10 jewels there, and the last here $2 from CW Bar. It was definitely a hate watch tonight. Yeah, I mean, it turned from a hate watch into a dub watch. So I appreciate you guys.
Not even a dub watch, but like this was a draw that felt like a win. We always say that goes one of two ways. This was a draw that felt like a win.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, I will pin it, but I will leave. Thank you guys for having me, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, thanks for tapping in, though. All right. let's take some calls. A losing streak that has ended to talk about, and a new striker to talk about. So I can't wait to hear what you all think of this. And let's get it underway. We got Jordan, we got James, and we got Caleb to lead it off. Jordan, what is up, my guy? You are on the stage.
Hello.
Good to see you. Dude, I mean, where do we even start? The losing streak is over. It's a tie at FC Cincy. No one thought that was going to happen. And Dejan Joveljić about to be a Seattle Sounder. I mean, where did you take it away, man? Wherever you want to start.
I won't lie. I was at work when the game started. I had the game on. The second the goal went in, I turned the game off, did not watch anymore, and then opened Twitter at a stop and see a Fabrizio Romano Seattle Sounders tweet after Obed Vargas leaving. I never thought I would see Fabrizio Romano talking about Seattle ever again. So that blew my mind instantly. And to see that we are making a summer signing that is helpful. 3 things, again, didn't think we would see this summer is insane. And then to pull off a draw, it's now a winless streak and not a losing streak, but winless is still better than losing, as sad as that is. But, I mean, this is big. I think that we probably should look at the other 2 DPs and maybe talk at least one of them down. I honestly think it would probably be easier with Pedro than Jordan because Jordan just got there. I don't see him being like, you gave me these because of things I did, a season ago and 2 seasons ago, and then you're instantly going to take it away. Where Pedro, you can kind of go up and be like, look, dude, you've been hurt constantly. You unfortunately are taking up a spot that could help us. And I also think from a fan standpoint, if Pedro wasn't a DP and he's hurt as much as he is, I don't think people care anywhere near as much as they do now.
Yeah, man. God, there's so much. I want to talk about the game a little bit because I think you said a lot about Joveljić right there, but I don't know. I was proud of the team tonight. I know it seems like kind of hollow in how the results and the losing streak. I get that, but they've been beaten down. They've been talked down. Everyone's been bagging on them. Rightfully, deservedly so in a lot of ways. And they were going on the road to a hostile environment against a team that's way more talented than them, that they really had no business taking a result against. So to actually pull that off, when it was 1-0 late into the second half, I was like, man, I don't really see how they score. And then the fact that they did and actually almost won the game, it was nice to watch, even if it wasn't super meaningful in terms of the standings.
I would say the biggest thing is the previous game when they went 1-0 down. You could kind of just see the body language of the team. Heads dropped instantly. At 1-0 down, they were like, well, there's no point. And that was a home game, if I'm not mistaken. My memory is not the best already, but to go on the road, to pull one out late, like they were talking about in the presser, they were on the attack for the majority of that afterwards, even with bringing in a center back, to lock down the point. So, especially like you said, with a rotated squad, and if anyone's going to go on the road with a rotated squad and get a point, of course it's going to be Seattle.
It was more than rotated too. It was rotated and also so injured that there's Defiance guys in these squads right now that I literally haven't heard of.
I will say, as someone who has bashed Ryan Saylor since the beginning, because of the fact that until recently, you and I have played the same amount of minutes as him.
Let's give him his credit.
He's not played amazingly, but he's come in. He's been a steady hand.
He's been playing not in Washington, D.C. He's been playing for the Seattle Sounders.
He's been playing on the field for the team.
On the field, played pretty well tonight. No complaints about how he played tonight. Actually contributed to the team.
I would say, there are positives to look at. I do just hope.
Oh my God. Sorry. Go for it.
My only fear is with the signing of a striker and this result, the front office kind of takes a nap after this. They need to keep pushing. They need to keep building. If we're going to get back into the playoffs and challenge, there's still more pieces that need to be brought into the team.
Yeah, agreed. RBW 94th minute equalizer for Nashville against Columbus. What a night for Lobbing Scorchers, man. What is going on? There's just a lot to process.
The young guns getting goals everywhere, man. KKR again, man. That is
KKR and Stuart Hawkins, the load-bearing attacking pieces for the Seattle Sounders right now. Jordan, we're going to get James in here, but give us one last take to bring it home.
It's looking up slowly but surely. You know, I feel like within the next month we'll be up above that line and finding the playoffs. So that's a good sign.
Jordan, great stuff, man, as always. Good to see you. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. All right, we got James, we got Caleb, and then we got William. Let's keep it rolling. James, you're on the stage right now. It is a losing streak that is over, a 1-1 draw, an Albert Rusnák equalizing assist. I mean, a lot going on before you even get to the news of the hour, which is Dejan Joveljić ostensibly reportedly coming to the Seattle Sounders. James, I'm dying to hear what you let's start with Joveljić. What do you think? DP striker.
I think that there's positives. I think that there's negatives. I think that the positive is that we have been underperforming our XG. I pulled up some numbers. 27.9 XG, 22 goals. Morris and especially Musovski have been profligate, and Joveljić has always, in the last few years, he's exceeded his XG. So even if he levels at his XG, that is a huge improvement over where we are now, and that should get us some goals. I think that the weakness of this is that he is primarily a poacher. I don't think that he is going to be yeeting him in from 35 yards like a Rui Diaz. I don't think he's got the passing that Rui Diaz had. And, you know, we say we're underperforming our XG. Well, our XG is 24th in the league. So we aren't creating a lot of chances, as I think you alluded to earlier. And so to just bring in a pure poacher, does that really fix the problem? You know, I'm not sure about that, especially when it comes to the expense of extending Rusnák, who, you know, you mentioned he gets the assist today. That was his first open play assist of the MLS season this year. He is 46th in expected assists, 75th in expected assists per 90, both of which are behind Jesus Ferreira. And so to pair a poacher with that, especially when, look, whether you like Rusnák or you don't, everybody can agree he was not a hard worker when he was 27. What is he going to be at 34? So pairing that with a poacher could work. And it might not. I've sort of said all along that what I really did not want to see was in the NFL, when a GM's on the hot seat, he trades away 2 first-round picks to try to save his job. That's what this feels like to me, because it's a good chunk of money, especially for us. It comes at the expense of extending a player into his year 34 season. And it raises a lot of questions about what we're going to do with the rest of the highly paid guys. Morris wants to be a striker. So, okay, well, I guess we move him to the left wing. Jesus Ferreira is better as a 10, but if Rusnák is here for another 2.5 years, he's back on the right wing, which is not the best use of him. And then if Pedro de la Vega is ever fit, where does he come into this? So it's an all-in move by Craig Weibel to try to save his job. It has potential. It also has potential to put us in a hole for a year, 2 years.
See, as someone who's not as passionately anti-Rusnák, the idea of him not on a DP spot, to me, that removes the kind of obligation to start him week in, week out. If he's more of a supplementary piece that you can maybe bring in off the bench as a dead ball specialist, or, you know, when you're chasing a goal, I like that roster construction with him a lot more than I do with him as a DP, because I do think, you know, you guys are correct about the open play assists, but do you know how many he has off dead balls this year? Because it's a lot more than I think people realize. Yeah. So yeah, there's value in that skill that I think you're getting a lot more value of him not being a DP. I guess it depends what like the new number is, but it just seems like a better roster build to me, which is, we'll see what effect that has, but it could be a starting point to getting this roster to a better place than it's at right now. I'm spitballing here, but that's
I and you know, it depends on what the number is. You know, if it's like $1 million, which I think is probably low, and your plan is to make him the backup to Jesus Ferreira because he's a much younger and much more dynamic and much more of a Schmetzer player. Obviously, that's when Jesus returns next year. There's something to that. If it's, you know, up in that max TAM 1.8 million, less of a bargain. And of course, it depends on whether or not any rule changes happen. If this just becomes a salary floor, $30 million salary cap league with DPs, then it doesn't matter as much. But if we're still on kind of the same system, we're right back where we are now. Now you've got Christian, Jesus, and Rusnák, who all need a ton of TAM or GAM, and that means selling a lot of younger players and selling a lot of international slots. So,
what do you think the next? What if you were managing this roster? What's the next thing you would look at?
We need a U22 holding midfielder.
Okay,
Christian,
so you want to see? Aren't you a little worried about an inexperienced player at that spot, though? I feel like we're kind of seeing what can happen with that. With what's going, but maybe, you know, if you get one with more pedigree than a Defiance kid, I could see it. It's just gotta make really sure that's the right guy. You gotta make real sure.
Well, what I would say is that, you know, with what you've got on our Defiant central midfielders who have their positives, they have their weaknesses, but you are limited to who's in your geographical region. Whereas if you are ostensibly looking all around the world, although I don't know how much of that is actually happening, you can say, all right, well, we just need a pure destroyer. We need a guy who just breaks up play, passes it simply to his mate, and then he's got a year or two to develop next to Christian as his backup, as his stand-in. And then that's the, you know, we are, again, depends on how the rules go, but we really could use somebody who's only got a 200K cap hit. I sort of imagine that the U22 rule is still going to be in effect, even if they do the roster changes, just because they're going to have some way of accounting for the transfer fee. And so I think that would be what I would do. I would go find some hard Serbian kid who likes to tackle the crap out of people and look at that as sort of that. But what about you? What do you think is next on the list?
I mean, I'm hoping it's like that area of the field. I'm a little more apprehensive about U22 at that spot. But like what you're describing of like Petkovic, but like more of the Aussie mold. I love that idea. And if they can find good U22 targets, like I think that would be incredible. But it's just those just always make me a little nervous, I guess, the U22s to begin with. And then I also think at that particular position, it can be an even like trickier fit because I kind of associate what they need at that position as like experience, leadership, standard setting, dirty work. It just seems kind of inherently harder to find that in a young player than a guy who's like been around. So that's like my only hesitation with using that lever to address that need. But if they find a good target, I do think like in terms of construction, that probably is ideal. But either way, like I think midfield is next up because the whole plan of just like relying on Christian coming back to fix it. And then if you don't have Christian, doing what they have been doing, that does not feel tenable. Like you got to do something to make sure that that's not happening anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, I would disagree just a little bit because, and this is not discredit to Obed, who I thought who had more on the ball skill than he really got to show for the Sounders, because most of what he was doing for the Sounders was cardio, and I don't mean that in the sense of like a wide receiver running and getting no targets. He was just running a lot. He was covering every blade of grass, to the point where the fact that he could play a pretty decent pass really wasn't his strongest asset for the Sounders. So if you can just find somebody who's got that kind of engine, I think that represents a pretty serious improvement and kind of getting us back to where we were at last year. And so, the other one I would add is left back. Nuhu, we are really gambling a lot on him continuing to stay fit while playing nearly every game. Shout out to him, because that tackle is really what made that goal possible.
Yeah,
that was tremendous. But we've seen so many guys drop, and that's that. I'll wrap up with that because I'm sure you have other callers in the queue. But with the injury thing, I am a little bit nervous that Schmetzer is saying we are going through all of our training with a fine-tooth comb. We're trying to figure out what's going wrong. We're not going to be able to change it this year or anytime soon, but we are looking at it. And now we're about to spend $6 million on a player. Seems like getting the training thing figured out first might be a good idea. And I do worry that some of the injuries we're seeing now, Jesus maybe, but especially Reagan, is because we are so battered, guys are pushing themselves. Reagan should not have carried on in that game against Austin. And I'm sure that it is just him saying, oh my God, everybody's hurt. I'm one of the last starters left on the team. And if I can make my way through this, I'm going to do it. And I wonder how many people are doing that in training. And I wonder if that's where we're at now. When they said Jesus, he's got the tendon damage, that worried me that was something that's been building for a while. And maybe he's just pushing through it because he's got that DP escalator, a few more assists and a few more goals. Maybe that could be a $500,000 per year pay bump for him. So I do worry that guys are kind of pushing themselves too hard.
I mean, that's one theory that could explain some of this that we hadn't talked about yet. But James, good stuff as always, man. Appreciate you calling in, and we'll talk to you on the next one.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, take care. All right. We got Caleb up next, then we got William, then we got CW. If you have not done so yet, please go ahead and like the video. Also, please sub to the channel. Help us on the road to 4K. We're almost there, guys. I need to get this road to 4K over with. We're like 70 away or something. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, sub to the channel. Get us to 4K. Also, please subscribe to lobbing.scorchers.com, new written platform. Good stuff going up there all the time, and we're going to keep plugging away at it. So if you want to subscribe for free, that's very helpful. And if you want to be a paid sub, that's even more helpful. But all right, let's see what Caleb has to say about all this. He's at his drum set. He's got his De La Vega jersey. He's got his Defiance jersey on. Caleb, what's up, man? The losing streak is over. It's a late equalizer at FC Cincinnati, and it's a Dejan Joveljić reported acquisition by the Seattle Sounders. Where do you want to start, man? A lot to talk about.
Well, you did take my intro away, like before you just like,
I realized that halfway through. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, do what Ari said, do all those fine things for QED coffee and for the great platform for the independence of for soccer and for journalism things. So, I'd have to say today's game was actually, I liked it. I wasn't too scared. I wasn't as scared as I wasn't the so-called Bobby Warshaw, if you remember who that name is.
Oh, that's a good name drop. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't the so-called Bobby Warshaw scared, saying that Seattle should be scared. I was just like, no, if anything, these youngins are going to get up and they're going to show heart. I mean, yes, they were down 1-0, but hey, being down 1-0 against a high-powered offense like Evander and FC Cincinnati, especially with what the firepower and acquisitions that they have. Like I said, I gave credit to these guys. To be honest, I like this guy Edison Carley and Bronick. I like both of them. I've watched Tacoma Defiance games. Like I've seen how there's a good young duo of but that's not the so-called big time what you pay for, because of course when you get the money that you pay for, yes, you're gonna get absolutely what you're gonna get paid for. But for it to be grown aggregately with how Tacoma Defiance and the philosophy of what they do with it, I like that duo, and I'm very I'm also a big Gaffney fan because of course up the bridges. But yeah, like I said, it showed great heart. Nuhu showed a great tackle. That was great. Like I said, we really did. I mean, like I said, yeah, we'll take one on the chin for Albert. Like I said, the brigade. As much as, like I said, we've been pointing at the ghosts. We will also sit down and actually get a talking to for when he actually does contribute and actually take it on the chin. So all to the anti-Rusnák brigaders, let's calm down on this one. Let's actually take it easy. And we should be happy because that'll segue into the next segue of, I think that it makes sense for Dejan Joveljić because as he's absolutely scored and bammed against us. I mean, what better way to have somebody because I'm gonna say this about a Craig that I think a lot of you still have never watched in his press conferences, because I'm gonna ask you, Ari, have you watched specifically Craig Weibel's press conferences as of his years of the tenure?
Oh yeah, I mean, I watch every one. He hasn't done one in a while, but whenever he has one, I watch it. Sometimes I attend them. There's only a couple of years. The last one I attended was probably 2 years ago at this point because it was on Zoom. But I watch all the Craig Weibel pressers.
Well, because I say this because I'm going to take a quote from him because me, the Weibel merchant that I am. I like to he always talks about player crushes, especially about teams that score against you or that you have to play against, because he was talking about that in his first year of when he first came of general managing, when he first came to the job and to the helm. If you remember that press conference, do you?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, because I mean that's where I quote Weibel, because he was talking about player crushes, because he says, look, there's a whole big difference of seeing players that you play against, because he was specifically talking about, because when there was the questions of will Juan Donato come to because remember that so-called rumor that happened saying that Juan Donato from Pumas.
Yeah.
That's where the Craig Weibel segue goes into that, which, like I said, nobody, I don't think other, pundits are gonna, I say that with great respect, will cover for these great fans to have the grand knowledge of understanding what James and the Giant Peach is. Or what the scent of a roll-on deodorant ball. But I could go off on Craig because clearly he's got a lot weighing heavy on his mind. But I'll calm down with the side punch jokes. But I think that this Joveljić, it works about this because, like I said, I think this works because when James was talking about great players with the salaries, and I think Petrovic is still that U22. I'm still gonna be on that pro Petrovic because he is that pedigree because he was that pedigree for us to help us change a dynamic in the game. And I know it's going to be a lot skeptical because he's going to come back from an injury, but I think he can absolutely come back and contribute in a way that brings veteranship, and especially with you got two Serbians now with Joveljić and Petrovic. That like now think about that. Like, you know, does that strike something in does that strike a little something?
It kind of does. I still have a little bit of my Petkovic stock as well. I was higher on him when we did get to see him play a little bit at the beginning of the year than some people were. I'm not sure he's like the exact type of skill set that I think they need, but he definitely, I think, has stuff to offer from that position as far as his long passing and his creativity and all that. So I'm definitely still interested in him. Caleb, I'm going to get William in here next, but go ahead and give us one more take to bring it home.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just going to say because I would say look at the average age now. If we absolutely see the products on the field, and especially if our, like, you know, without the injuries, because especially with this, I think this averages the age to 24/25 on the roster, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that absolutely starts a little bit more of a rebuild, and to James's credit, was absolutely cooking in his last take. So I give all credit to James for that one. For he was saying absolute cook on that one. That is an absolute cook. But we got a draw. I gave Keilani kossa-rienzi sticks. The Schmetzer resiliency got a little bit stale, but at the same time, we're able to get it out. And I think, this could just be a sign of more things to come. But let's build off of this. We have to build off of this now.
Got to build off it. Caleb, great stuff as always, man. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
You too.
All right, we got William up next, NCW, then Jesus. We got the whole gang. I got one super chat in here, I think, to get to. 10 jewels from the Hebrew Hammer. Thank you for the jewels, as always, guys. Still unclear what exactly the jewels do, but we'll take all of them. All right, let's get William in here. William, you're on the stage.
Hey,
welcome, man. It's going. The Seattle Sounders losing streak is over. It's a dramatic, hard-fought 1-1 comeback. Keilani kossa-rienzi equalizer with a dash of a Dejan Joveljić reported acquisition to go with it during the game. Where do you want to start? What do you think?
I'm actually want to start with the Reign real quick because they also are very in the same spot. They just had another number 9 that's pretty good to their team. They just got another 1-1 draw away from home today against a better team that they probably should have lost away. And they're also sitting at 8-4-8, and we're at 7-4-9 with Sounders. So it's like crazy simple, yeah. But yeah, okay, now we can. And so, when it was 0-1, I was like, you know, at least I'm having fun. Like, play the kids, let everyone gets healthy. And then KKR equalizing it in the 85th, and he's really putting it into the game because he did not do any flips at all after that goal. And I don't know the last time I haven't seen him do that.
You can't. It has to be going better results wise for the team to flip. They actually had this debate last year with Denny Bwanga with LAFC because they were struggling and they were like, he stopped flipping. Why isn't he flipping? And then they realized it's like, well, because we're not winning games, so like he can't like. And I thought that was actually very intuitive of Denny Bwanga to like recognize I shouldn't be flipping right now. We're not playing well enough to flip. I think that's probably what's going on with Keilani. That's veteran savvy of him to realize that he shouldn't be flipping.
It's definitely going to help the morale too, instead of like just kind of celebrating a personal win instead of the team win. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This was a draw that felt like a win. I don't want it
especially with that late equalizer, with oh man, I'm like Evander and Denke, my friends from Cincinnati, and he loves the team, and I've been watching the team every night once in a while, so I was not expecting to do this good. I think the stats during the game were wrong too, because they showed like 3 XG for Cincinnati at one point. And then that's not what they showed after the game.
They're this game kind of confirmed what I already knew, which is that FC Cincinnati, they have a very good roster. They're very talented. Evander is one of the best players in the league. But I think we kind of saw in this game why they've underachieved a little bit this year, which is not to take away from the results Seattle got, because this one definitely counts. And also with the lineup that Seattle had out there, this Cincy team should have been able to handle them easily. It's a tough look for them. But they really, like, for them at home to not take a win right there, that's
and sold out crowd,
choking away the late equalizer. If you look at their season, yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Who are these guys? Thing. The Seattle Sounders, yeah, but man, that the goal that they got was just insane. Like the amount of, I think Andrew gets a block. I don't know if he gets a second touch on that before then. Like it goes off of Rothrock's chest, and then just lands out of Evander, and it's like, yeah, okay, but. Can't really do too much about that. No, Rothrock almost saved the day on that one, but it's also like you were probably never keeping a clean sheet in this game. That would have been an insane accomplishment if they had.
It felt like it was going to happen at some point.
Yeah, so the fact that you conceded one but were able to fight back, that was good. That was good resilience.
I think so too. Something I noticed is they looked like they had bigger bumps on the back of their jerseys. I don't know if they got some new like trackers or something, or if I'm just imagining that. If that's part of their like looking at the physio stuff now.
Could be.
And then I don't know if KKR did a tell during the press conference when he said like their team was getting tired. They weren't like tracking back defensively like they should have been doing. If that's like what we've been seeing with us as well, like later in the games. Maybe that's something that Brian's been echoing to the team. Because we'll be doing like all right, maybe we're holding a draw, maybe we're like maybe a win, and then just like the last 10-20 minutes it just falls apart.
Right. What give us your Dejan Joveljić thoughts.
Don't know much about him, but having 8 goals this so far with Sporting Kansas City this year, I think I'm happy with that. Have him come over and see what he can do with like, you know, a team that's just one above them right now, I think, in the standings. Am I right or am I wrong? How low are we on Western?
I think let's see. Sporting Kansas City is in literal last place in the entire way, and that's the
Austin.
Thing. That's the thing with Joveljić is he's been toiling away on this god awful team for the last couple of years, but he is a very good player. Like we've been speaking highly of him on our show, dating back to 2024. So it's not like we're not just like pumping it up because Seattle just got him. This is like this is one of the best number 9s in Major League Soccer right now.
Hungry too.
He should be hungry. He should be relishing a change of scenery. Going to a team that is struggling, but that theoretically, that's been more successful than Sporting Kansas City, the club of professional wrestling enthusiasts.
Have we played Sporting Kansas City at Seattle yet?
I don't think so.
Could he score a goal against the Sounders and Sporting Kansas City in the same year?
He could. I think he could.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. William, give us one more take, and then we're gonna get CW in here.
Don't know how rushed the signing was, but don't know if it's cooking or Uber Eats. But hopefully we get some more in the midfield and the spine, because I think outside wingers, like wingbacks, look all right. It's just center backs and midfield is just dead right now.
Yeah, like if this is the only move and there's no midfield reinforcements and the plan is really Christian, please save us, then I don't think that would be great. But to get to a point where you can shore up the midfield and have that really benefit the whole attack, you would need to make a move like this to supplement it as well. So,
this also tests our thoughts on Moose and Osaze to see if it's really a service issue, if it's a number 9 issue or what.
Great point. William, good stuff, man. Thanks for tapping in. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you next time.
All right. We got CW, we got Jesus, we got Hunch, we got Jack, and then we got Wade. So still a packed queue. If you want to tap in, I'll be here for a bit. So feel free to tap in, but we're going to keep working our way through here. CW. Oh, there he is. Now he's on the stage.
I've got like a few quick takes and then a couple things I want to talk about. Pat Noonan used to be a Sounder. He was not going to celebrate this result, whether we won, lost, they won. He was not going to celebrate this. It is what it is. But once a Sounder, always a Sounder. Cohesion. We talked about it in the super chat. Adding Captain Paul to that. right decision. Paul said there was nobody else. I don't agree with that. He played with those bros.
Let's give the shine to Captain Paul because he was captaining a Tacoma Defiance team right there, and he captained them to a 1-1 draw against FC Cincinnati team that I just downplayed their quality, but like their roster has a lot more money behind it and a lot more talent on it than the one Seattle put out there.
This wasn't a Seattle Sounders tie in my mind. This was a Tacoma Defiance tie against FC Cincinnati. Evander can suck it because he used to be a Timber. That's where I'm at on that one.
Stu Hawks was going at it with Evander, and he was winning his matchup.
Stu Hawks better be on the U.S. Men's National Team World Cup in 2030, or we're not doing anything right in our scouting. The kid is 19, looks like he's 28. He's dominating guys that are dominating MLS. Stu needs to be on that roster.
If we have any integrity as a country for Ryan Saylor to defend, Stu Hawks will be on the World Cup roster.
Right. D-Row. We haven't had a hold-up forward like D-Row since Will Bruin. I am excited. I'm going to get to Joveljić later, but a 4-4-2 with a true hold-up forward that D-Row has demonstrated he's able to do in the Will Bruin vein, I'm all for it. Knew who changed the game. If you watched after Knew who came in, the first 15 minutes, Cincinnati was rolling balls, slow-ass balls down the line because we had Tino over there until we subbed in Nuhu. Nuhu ate those for breakfast. He changed the game. The winless streak. Moose, bury that fucker. Ever since you got your teeth knocked out, bro, you've been timid. Fuck the teeth. They can be replaced. Put your head in that shit. KKR, we slag on him on these calls regularly, but Kalen Carr was right. When we need a goal, somehow he's got a Rothrock vibe to him. When we really need it, he shows up. This game, to your point, was built for an RBW. Having a guy to play that left wing back, that'd have been real nice.
He's looking really good for Nashville the last few weeks too, man.
I'm so happy.
I said it at the time. All these trades, I've been like, all right, I get it. I see why they did it, except for that one. Yeah. That was one where I was like, no.
Yeah. My stepson's a Reed. Before I dumped the season's tickets, he had the Reed jersey, customized Reed on the back because
and he's like dude. he's swagging around. He's got bleach blonde hair right now. He's like, Reed is in his like he's in his like his ascent right now, man. His aura is
and Caleb kind of got to the point. Petrovic, or however the hell you say it.
Yeah.
He's not a true CR7 backup, but I've been saying for 2 years, we got to find that Destroyer 6. Petrovic might not be that guy, but CR, man, he learned from Ozzy. He learned from JP.
Yeah.
If we don't find that backup now, who is he going to learn for? You know, we got to find that. To the Joveljić thing, we got to put the ball in the box. Rothrock, over the losing streak, hasn't really been putting the ball in the box from the wing.
No, because they need him to score every goal.
Right. But the guys that could put the ball in the box, Georgie, Leo Chu, Ryan Kent, we let go. The wing, we haven't had a solid scoring or assisting winger since Steve Zakawani. You look at our winger history. Think about our winger history. Who's the best historic winger on the Sounders? It's Steve Zakawani. And we haven't backfilled that role. I don't know if that's Schmetzer not liking the way those guys play, but we haven't had a solid producing winger since Steve.
Depends what you think of Jordan Morris, and also
no
Pedro de la Vega, who
Pedro has potential, but he's got to be on the fucking field.
Right.
He's got to be on the field. He's played what, less than 50% of the games available since we signed him. Yeah. He can be fucking messy, but if he's only playing 5 games a season, what's the point? We haven't had a regular starting playing destroying winger since Steve.
Man, I'm gonna have to investigate this take more, but I think you might be cooking, CW. Give us one more take, and then we're gonna get Jesus in here.
Happy to end the loss streak. Fucking Moose Berries, that header. We end the winless streak. It's all I wanted tonight. It was out of the realm of possibility, but
it was too much to ask. It was too much to ask.
It was.
The soccer gods gave us the equalizer. They would never have given us the Moose game winner. Come on, like with how things have been going, no shot.
Yeah.
We'll take the KKR leveler and be happy with it.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ari.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one. Take care. All right, we got Jesus, we got Hunch, we got Jack, and we got Wade, and then that's it. So if you guys do want to tap in, we'll take a couple more after that, but probably not going to go all that much longer tonight anyway. So let's get Jesus in here. Jesus, what is up,
What's
man?
up?
Welcome to the stage, brother. It's a 1-1 draw to end the losing streak, and a Dejan Joveljić transfer acquisition, a new number 9. What do you think?
Oh, excited! Absolutely excited with Seahawks season on the horizon.
Let's go.
And then, honestly, this is what we needed from the soccer gods. It's all we needed, and honestly, the fun part about it is that I found out when I was working, and I live in the Yakima Valley. There's a humongous wildfire near my house. So I was like, pretty much, I thought my day was toasted with Cincinnati scoring on us in the first half. And then when I saw KKR score the game, when I'm like, you know what? I need to stop hitting on KKR. I used to call that man UCL ball because the way he would play, like I just didn't like his play style. But that man shut me up. And this game, like, it could have been an RBW game, but management decided to just ship him off to Nashville. He's doing good right now. I'm also watching the Timbers game, and LAFC with Dennis Bouanga how can you not score? Like,
does Bouanga have those yips? I haven't even been watching them.
Yeah, they've been scoring. He's been scoring, but that's literally one of my dream signings for the Sounders is the Denny Bouanga signing.
That would be like an all-time holy grail. What do you think of Joveljić, though? I mean, that is like, if you ask me the best number 9s in MLS before this rumor or this report came out, Joveljić would be on my list of the top 2 to 3 best pure number 9s in the league right now. And that's not gassing it up just because Seattle just did it. That's what I would have told you. That's what I would have said.
Well, I'm pretty excited. I seen how he played against Kansas City. He played good. I mean, when you're stuck on such a shit team with a very rich sports history and has not won anything since 2013-14 season. And yeah, I mean, pretty much it's a new beginnings for him here in the Pacific Northwest, and honestly with one of the biggest teams in the MLS and the biggest history in the MLS, that we have not missed the playoffs at all. Like, we only missed the playoffs once in our existence, and I hope he could bring back what Nicolas Ladero did in 2016. But I know we're pretty much, I mean, we're almost to September, so I hope it could happen sooner. I hope it could happen.
Do you think a number 9 alone can elevate this team back into contention, or do you think there's got to be a couple more moves?
There's got to be a couple more moves. A number 9 can't solve anything. It's like in the NFL, can a quarterback solve anything? No, you need wide receivers. Can a defense, like with run game, solve anything? No, you need corners. So
You
it's
gotta get your
basically like
you gotta
that.
get your O line. You gotta get your O line.
Yeah. Yeah, you got need your offensive line, and then you need a running back, and then you need a coach with the guru, which we have Brian Schmetz. And I saw this repost from saying, should Brian Schmetzer be sacked? And I put absolutely not. Whoever made this has zero ball knowledge because you're just pretty much throwing the coach under the bus. What can he do with all of his injuries? It happens a lot. There's always going to be injuries in sports no matter what. You always gotta stay. You always gotta stay until the day you die. I'm always a Sounders fan until I die. Always a Seattle sports fan. I know the Mariners walked it off with the Ramsey was a Rainer walk off. Pretty much.
Oh, I didn't even know that. All right, the vibes.
Yeah,
the vibes are back, Jesus.
Yeah, all we need is the Hawks to go back to back, and we're good.
That's just a small ask. Give us any last takes, and then we're gonna get Hunch in here.
All right, let's see what he can do. So the fan base should be very excited, but it should be not that excited yet because we need more, and we need what Craig Bible could do because he's literally had his hands tied for so many years. But yeah,
Let's see what you got,
thanks for
Craig.
having me.
Let's see what you got. Cook, show
Thanks for
all
having
these
me.
people they
Go
have bad
Sounders.
taste. Got you, Jesus.
And yeah, thanks for having me. Have a good night.
You too. Take care. All right, we got Hunch, we got Jack, we got Wade, and then that's going to be it for the night. It is looking like I got to hear what Hunch has to say about all this. Hunch, welcome to the stage. The losing streak is over. It's a 1-1 draw. It's a KKR late equalizer with a Tacoma Defiance heavy lineup, and it's a Dejan Joveljić transfer report. What do you think, man? Where do you want to start with all this?
Let's keep it to the game for now, I guess.
Okay.
People have mentioned that there was like resistance against KKR.
I was never part of that. Yeah.
No, but I haven't really even heard it either. He got benched there for a while, and I couldn't fathom it then. And I forget who they were putting in that position, but was it Lopez, or did they even put Kingston back there for like a game or something like that? And it's like KKR was there. It's like, what did he do? Because it's when Alex went out, and we needed somebody back there, but I couldn't understand why he wasn't getting the start. And even if he wasn't performing, it's like, give him the minutes though. He needs he needs what the team got today, and that is cycles together with each other. So yeah, I mean, that was a surprise to me. God, we could have stolen it there, but that's a hard ball to hit because Moose was jumping towards goal with his back towards it. The ball came from over his shoulder, and he had to see it and deflect it in one motion. Like by the time he saw the ball, he had already jumped.
2025 Moose finishes that.
I don't know. I think if he hadn't jumped already, or if he'd seen the ball a second sooner, I think he could have.
I agree with you. It's one of those things it's very easy for us to be like, look how easy it is, like sitting in our chairs. And you could say, a professional striker that's getting paid a lot of money should be able to do that, even if the degree of difficulty is high. That is true, but it's probably not as easy of a look as we might.
It's like it was coming from where he was facing. It was coming from like behind him over his shoulder. So again, it's super tough. I mean, he was in the right spot, and he knew he could have done it. Like, you saw him frustrated afterwards, but I don't hold it against him. If he had 3 or 4 crosses in there, and that's the first one that he actually was at the end of and missed it, then I would have. But dude wasn't getting service in there consistently. And to that point, I think that's what helped Albert in this game. Like, he was so far out on that wing, I would hope that he's taken the shot out of his mind, and he's got to play the assist game, which is what we want him for. At least that's how I see it. So of course, when he could focus in on that, he could do that. The other thing we had 2 guys crash the goal, which in the past we've only had 2, and they've either crashed right into the 6 for whatever reason, both of them, or they've stayed top of the key, and so many of our crosses have gone to the opposite spot. And what we've needed is either for them to divide up, or for someone to pull up that back door like KKR did, because those front 2 crashers take the defenders with them, which opens up that dime spot, which Albert saw. So that was great. It was great to have a third attacking option in there that wasn't on the same line with the front 2. But KKR has the quality to finish that even from 10 yards further, as far as that goes. So I was glad about that. I wasn't nervous about the game. I wasn't hate watching, and I certainly didn't turn it off like when we were down a goal because there was so much fight in the team.
No, and the lineup was interesting to watch. That's what I appreciated about it. Like it was something like novel. There was something new to it. I didn't know if it was going to work, but I was at least like invested in seeing if it did work. And then it kind of did work. They got a result. So
yeah,
shout out to the lineup.
I didn't see their shoulders drop when they gave it up, and it was a tough one to give up because they blocked early 3 shots to give up the 4th, in that sequence there. And that was just really bad luck. I thought Paul took it off the face at first, but
me too.
And it's just bad luck that Andrew spilled it off the legs to the center, and there was somebody there. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Is he spills it to the outside, that sequence doesn't happen. Or if he spills it to the inside off his legs, and there's not a Cincy player there, then that sequence doesn't happen. So it's a matter of fortune, and again, they blocked 3 of the 4 or whatever it was. So. And like they just kept fighting. Now I didn't like how we were getting pinned in the second half, but that's why bringing those senior guys off the bench, fresh legs versus tired legs, paid dividends. And that's a gutsy call. I mean, I give it to the coaching staff to say we've got these guys, but we're not going to start them. And I don't think it was out of injury concern. I think it was just like we're going to play this differently. We need to match the energy of the club that we're up against, and we need to smother them, or not smother them, but hang with them. And you saw that. I mean, including like what was it? Sailor getting an early yellow at midfield in the first half. Like that's confidence to put yourself as a center back on a yellow that early, especially when you haven't gotten a lot of minutes. It's like, I don't want to be in jeopardy. And he did go down in the box at one time. They even pointed out that dude didn't go down. I don't think it was necessarily a foul, but those guys aren't playing with the notion of like, well, if I mess up, I might not get back. They're playing all out and giving it because they're trying to make the best case for themselves, which is why I had, I don't know, confidence in continuing to watch even after giving up a goal. So like, that's what we've been missing for a while in terms of what our depth has not shown up till now.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunch, did you want to get your
I don't really know the guy. Yeah, I don't know the guy that well.
Do you want me to tell you about him?
Yeah, sure.
Former LA Galaxy striker. He was the number 9 for that Galaxy team in 2024 that Noah and I actually used to talk about all the time, where the front 4 was Ricky Puig, Joey Paints, Gabriel Peck, and Joveljić was the 9. And that was one of the better front 4s in Major League Soccer that I've seen in the last 5 or 6 years. Like when that front 4 was firing, it was incredible to watch. They played some really, really high level, productive attacking footy. And Joveljić was a big part of it, man. Like all the chances that they were getting generated by Puig in the middle and Peck and Paintsful from out wide. He was just feasting on those. And he had an 18-goal season for Sporting Kansas City last year when they were one of the worst teams in the league. So is he Rui Diaz tier? I'm partial to Raul. I think he's one of the better strikers in MLS history. I wouldn't take many MLS strikers above him in terms of finishing ability in front of goal. But Joveljić is a guy that I think is like in that ballpark of reliability in terms of just if you give him a freaking look on goal, he's going to put it away more times than not, which this team has not had at that position this year. So it's like, I think it is like as far as intra MLS moves for number 9, it's top of the list on paper. Qualifier.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to throw water on necessarily, but I mean, he had 18 goals last year. I wonder how many shots he had. And as far as that goes, I mean, Moose had 19. So, we're not talking about guaranteed here. And again, I don't know him. I'm not saying one way or the other, but I don't know. Obviously, with the years before, as you said, with the Galaxy, he was a high performer. What I'm curious is how much service he got last year, meaning if we compare the number of shots he took last year to the number of goals he had, and, 1 for 1, how does that compare to the number of shots?
18 goals last year, 41 shots on target. I don't know how much. I don't know his full shot total. But his efficiency numbers look solid. I also think he is, James was describing him as like a pure poacher. And right. I think that is... I said this before Seattle ever even got linked to him, but I think he's a little underrated, honestly, as far as his all around game. He's not like a super incredible work rate type forward. Like maybe you're not going to see him doing like the full Osaze bag of tricks, but I think he has more of that stuff in his bag, and he's a harder worker than you might think just from like thinking of him at first glance.
I mean, is he good off of like corners and headers, or is he more ball of the foot kind of thing? Or...
No, I mean, I'd have to actually look at it, but my perception of it is that like I think of him as being good in the air, like good aerial threat. He's really good. He's got that moose ability to like find those spots for sure. So there's a lot of poacher in his game, but that's not like his only attribute, I think.
Well, is he trying to connect, say, off crosses or one touches, or does he want to receive it like at the top of the 18 and bring it in and pull the trigger? Or, you know,
I would say like his hold up play and all that is like solid, if not elite.
Okay.
I think it's better than people think. All of that, all of those like fine points and nuances of the number 9. I think he's a little better in that area than people might think.
Because if he's got any kind of hold up, then that could actually be a force multiplier for playing with Moose, for example. That you don't have two guys occupying the same space at the same way that we have like with Jesus and Albert, or at least when they're in the center like that. So it's more of like, you know, what kind of diversity does it give us in terms of if we have a multi-pronged approach in terms of an attack when we need it? And does he have any kind of injury history?
I don't want to jinx anything.
He's not done ACLs or hamstrings or anything, has he?
Not to my memory. He played 2,700 minutes last year. Played 2K minutes the year before that. So, but again, you know, I'm not going to make any proclamations as far as that goes. You know, God knows. Yeah. We know how that can turn out.
Well, since he's in league and he's not taking an international spot, and it's just a physical, and he's already been playing, presumably. I mean, as soon as they can inject him into the lineup, he should be ready even off the bench, right?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
This would be the easiest barrier to entry, like what Schmetzer was saying. It's not from overseas. It's not somebody who's been off-seasoned. It's not somebody who's coming back.
Which some people are going to, I think, probably frame that as a reason to dislike it. I tend to think that is probably it kind of increases the odds that it's going to hit theoretically. I don't know. But Hutch, give us one more take, and then we gotta get Jack in here and keep working through the queue.
Cautiously optimistic, I'll say. Like I thought they looked good today. This is what I wanted to see out of the youth, and I thought Andrew Thomas looked good as well. I mean, he had some great saves, and really can't fault anybody. Again, the senior guys coming off the bench looked good, and there was a good strategy by our coaching staff for the way they executed there. So I was happy all the way around.
Love it, Hunch. Good stuff as always, man. Appreciate
Thank you.
Take care, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, we got Jack, we got Nat, we got Sawyer, and we got Tribe, and then that's looking like it's going to be it. I think I got some jewels to work through first here, though. Let's see. We got 1,000 jewels from Luis, GOAT trophy. Thank you, Luis. Ryan with the 10 jewels. 10 more jewels. Thank you for all the jewels. Thanks for all the jewels, guys. Just I'm swimming in jewels over here. Thank you for the jewels. Rosie, thank you for the jewels. Sounder 74, Mar 10, Sounder 74. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all that. All right, let's get Jack on the stage. Jack, welcome in. What's up, man? Good to see you. It's a 1-1 draw at Cincy, a KKR equalizer with a heavily rotated and injured lineup. And it's a Dejan Joveljić reported Seattle Sounders acquisition. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm in general, I'm happy. I'm content despite the seemingly endless, not winning streak. But it's progress. It's not a loss. And one thing I think that's nice is, like you guys have talked about, the lineup was something to be excited about. Like, I'm glad Brian's kind of willing to try things out and go with younger kids, which
he might have only been doing it out of necessity. So I don't want to give him too much credit, but yes, he did it.
And I think he's leaning into that a little bit. Maybe he's going to have anyways, I think Brian's fine. And if not good, I'm glad to have him and that we get to see these young kids and try it. And it's nice to bring on like, the vets who you can have a good message going into when they get subbed and how the game can go from there, like coming in at the 70th or whatever. That's a good time for Albert to come in and then do something. Yeah.
Super sub Rusnák, not a DP anymore. Have we found the new rule?
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for it. I do want to see what the number is, but like,
I thought people would be happier about this news. A lot of people just immediately went to like, oh, we extending Rusnák. This is an outrage. How could this happen? It's like, you guys realize he's not a DP anymore.
It really what you wanted? What the number is for me. Not a DP is definitely good, but I don't know.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I don't know. I hope in general that whatever front office has gotten the message that there needs to be some kind of reset and like get not injured players or injury history players, not get too many older players, and keep it fresh. Keep the flexibility good. I think that's another thing with the roster in case things happen. And but with the extension, I think that's okay because Rusnák is really steady. And if we just don't have to lean on him as hard, if he's like our 5th best option instead of like a top 3 option.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Like, I know everyone is soured on the whole DP situation, and then you got the brigade anyway. But like, I think you even saw tonight that like he in a more supplemental role where he came off the bench as like a change of pace sub or whatever, he actually had a positive impact on the game, and he got the equalizing assist, which that assist is like the most like Rusnák he's looked from open play in a minute. I feel like his set pieces have been pretty damn good lately, honestly. I realize some people like don't agree with that, but like I think the stats actually show that his set pieces have been good lately, at least in terms of his assist production. So like it feels a lot more palatable.
Yeah. I just thought of a good comp. I think Rusnák could age into like the next Marco Papa, where he's like solid vet, can take over a game, but it's like not super often because he doesn't need to, or like it's different skill set. But I don't know. I just remember Marco Papa having a few really key moments where like he made the great play, like tonight's great pass, like he nailed it and he hit Kalani right in the spot with pace, all that.
That was a great goal. Everything from the new who winning the ball, starting that attack from a really dangerous area of the field, finding Rusnák in a dangerous area where he can actually pick his head up and pick someone out, and then the delivery from Rusnák, the run by Kalani, great team goal. I got nothing bad to say about the goal.
Yeah, and if Nuhu doesn't make that save, oh man, that's another. But like that's a mistake not made. Like Nuhu came in solid. There was no way he wasn't going to win that. And yeah, everything lined up. Kalani has been awesome. I am really grateful for him. Go Dogs and go Kalani. He's
the offense on this team right now is based around the duo of Kalani kossa-rienzi and Stuart Hawkins. So,
and like that's the thing I'm stoked about. Like I know Stu has been injured, but like I'm glad all these players who they're young, they're good, they're getting all that potential out, like even Snyder, I think he's going to be awesome next year. And I think he could still be awesome this year. And he's been up and down. But like,
he's going to be stronger for going through this. Exactly. We all are. We're all going to be stronger having gone through this. Yeah. But the young guys in particular, and I think him in particular, because what happened with him is he got such a large amount of pressure and responsibility put on him so fast, so early in his career that it's like the fact that he ended up in a situation where he had to go through it a little bit, like it's tough, but like he will be better for it. And like, I really think adversity later on down the line will not feel as tough for him, like having been through something like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I feel like Stu, who's a little ahead of him, like a year older maybe or something.
I think they're same age.
Sweet. Well, maybe he came on my radar a little earlier, but he has been through that a little more, where he's gotten injured, tried it out, and he's looking great, like really solid now. And like, I only watched the highlights, but he looked good in all the highlights. He was commanding things out there. And like, if Snyder gets to where he's commanding things and just like destroying in the midfield, and then like, I don't know, Pete can go anywhere. He's kind of like the next Brad Evans, maybe. I don't know. Not to like keep renaissancing, but like put him anywhere. I definitely think someone was shouting out the idea of getting Christian to roll on to like be the next tutor, you know, of the next kind of midfield 6, 8, whatever. And I really like that, because Christian's a great person to do that. And
he's the in terms of like mentoring and leadership, I can't think of anyone better, especially because of what we were talking about with how, you know, Ozzy Alonso passed on the torch to him. Now it's his torch to pass. It is also, you know, when we talk about too much of this team's culture being Christian, please fix it. Now we're adding to that, Christian, please also teach everyone to do what you do, so we don't have to rely on you for everything. But you know, that's what he's here for. Okay,
it's a good bit. Yeah,
exactly.
And I think that should be our next DP signing, is a 6 or 8 type, but hopefully 6 leaning.
I thought you were going to say Christian rolled on escalators, and I was about to say, Jack, you're cooking.
No, I love the guy, but no. Again, go Dogs, but no. I think like getting Rusnák down is great for the could be. Yeah, it is what it is, but I think it's good. I think getting a 6 DP would be sweet. I think getting Jordon down and extended, I'm fine with that. Like, he's got the hometown pride. He's got it made. He might still live at home. I don't know. Like, he doesn't need the DP long term. I think he knows that he's a legend already. He doesn't need more. I hope not. But because and then hell, I'd be even down with extending and keeping PDLV. Definitely lower number than any of them. But good reset. I think that's my vote.
You're probably alone on the PDLV part of it, but like honestly, like these like all of these DPs right now, if they were on lower numbers, it would just not be as big of a deal. That's just kind of brutal when like 2 of them never play, you know.
Yeah,
it's just anyway. Jack, give us one more take, and then we're gonna get Nat, we're gonna get Tribe in here, and then that's gonna be it for tonight's show.
Oh man, one more take. I'll say that, you know, the Sounders, I think, will get it right. You know, I think there's still an innate like pride to be a Sounder. I think a lot of other teams still bring it. Like, I think Joveljić arriving here he'll come with like, you know, the weight of like playing for a big team. And I think that'll shine through. I think that we'll not miss the playoffs for the second year. I'm knocking on wood. And I think that sunny days will keep coming. I think that there's still going to be some rain before it gets really in the sunny. But today was nice to have, you know, not a big L on the face.
The vibes are, I'm not going to say we're back, but the vibes are just, they're much better coming out of this game than they were going into this game, in a way that I didn't expect, and for different reasons, like both because of the performance and the result, and also, finally a report of the team going out and getting a player that I already know that I like. So it doesn't solve everything, but things feel better than they did, which is something given how they've been going. But Jack, good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you. Love the background. Appreciate
it. Yeah, someone said this new background looks like Nashville SC, which is kind of true. But I'm working on the whole setup. This is my new apartment. I have not fully figured out how it's gonna look, but the lighting is all messed up. This green is supposed to be more Sounders-ish green. So once I fix that, it'll look less like Nashville SC. But all right, let's get Nat and Tribe in here to close it out. Nat, you are on the stage. What is going on, man? The losing streak is over. It's a 1-1 draw. KKR with the equalizer. Rotated Tacoma Defiance-filled lineup comes through, gets the result. And Dejan Joveljić, Seattle Sounder. I mean, where do you want to start, man? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess so. Going into this game, I'd already like pretty much moved on from this game. I was already thinking about are we going to see Robert Lewandowski score three goals in 5 minutes in Newman Field next time he comes home? Because I was like, oh, he's coming. I was like, Chicago's next. And yes, so the fact that we didn't lose this game.
Everyone was talking. I saw everything you all were saying. Okay. I saw the Twitter. I saw the blue sky. You all were talking about how this was going to be a multi-goal loss. I'm not saying I necessarily felt different. I'm just saying that was the societal consensus.
Yeah, but then like the lineup comes out and then I felt better when I saw their lineup as well. It's like, okay, no Dinky, like they're like still Evander, but it's still like, I mean, they fell asleep in the second half. Like after they took the lead, like they didn't have much. And it's like, yeah, we bring up like their expected goals. When they said they had 3 goals, it was like, okay, so like all their expected goals came from the play that they scored on. Basically on those 3 blocks, which is fun, which isn't actually true, but funny to think about that with all the attempts that they had. But yeah, so like very happy. I mean, like it really felt like the team like was excited to play soccer again, which was fun.
Yeah.
Sailor played good today.
Yeah.
Hawkins played good. I still think like their pairing might be like in my opinion, I would say they're like the least likable center backs that the Sounders have had. But that's also because the bar has been so high for other Sounders center back pairings, or just who our center backs are. If you remember, like if we're thinking about like Marshall, Zach Scott, Hurtado, Jimmy Traore, like all of these guys were just so fun to root for. So I miss having those guys down the field, but to Stu and Sailor's credit, they played well. I do have to say, for Joveljić, shocked about this news. Didn't expect us to do anything. I have always thought he has had a fair amount of quality. I remember going back to the 2024 season, where Joveljić was on the Galaxy, and he would come in late in the game for Chicharito in like every game. And
they wouldn't start him even though he was clearly better.
And he would come in and score 2 goals immediately. And Chicharito did like nothing. I mean, like the Galaxy was ass the 2024 season, and then he finally gets to start.
And they win MLS Cup.
And he starts scoring a lot. So I'm excited to have him. I'm interested to see what number he will wear, because Jesus Ferreira is the number 9 right now. He was wearing number 9. Maybe he'll wear 17. I think he wore 18 when he was with the Galaxy. Do we have an 18? Do we have someone who wears 18 right now on the center? I mean, it was.
I don't think so. I'll look that up. Keep cooking. I'll look that up.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what he wears. Do we have a? I'm not even sure if we have a. Or Musovski's 17 now, I think.
Musovski's 19.
No, Musovski's 19. That's right. So he could wear 17 as well. It's just also been like a backup, a backup striker number. Of obviously, Will Bruin wore that. DeAndre Yedlin wore that for a little bit. So Yeah, I'm excited to have him.
Let's hold on. Let's talk about this from chat because this is a good question. Someone's asking, why do his teams keep getting rid of him though? The reason the Galaxy got rid of him is because they botched their roster build, so they ended up having to offload him when they didn't want to get rid of him. They had to get salary compliant, so that's how they ended up having to get rid of him for him to make it to Sporting Kansas City. And then Sporting Kansas City, they're in a full-on rebuild. They just got a new owner. Their team has been like bottom of the table for the last couple years, and they're just trying to like fully reset. So their owner just spent like a lot, $10+ million in transfer fees on different DPs and stuff. So they're just kind of totally resetting. So it's sort of like both situations. It's not like, oh, he had an attitude problem or he wasn't producing. It's sort of like these technicality type situations for why he ended up at Sporting Kansas City and now why he's ostensibly ending up in Seattle.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what he does, and I do think, the way he plays is, I think it's kind of the Chris Wondolowski way, but he's better than Chris Wondolowski. He'll be by the goal and he'll finish chances that are like in the box, but then he can win headers. Like he's a big guy, and he is someone who the other teams have to worry about. So, and obviously he has been scoring goals for SKC this year, even with them being bad. So even with our service not being at a great place now, I do think he will, in times when we've been unlucky to just get the ball over the line, I think he will help with that. And then like the hate that Rusnák is getting after this move, and like, I feel like I've been one of the few people, who's like very much been trying to push the hate on to Morris. As of someone who loves Morris, I've been the one who's been like asking for Morris to say something, or we need to move on from Morris. And let's have the brigade talk about like Morris renegotiating his contract instead of Rusnák, who has done that, and we got what we wanted with Rusnák. So let's move on.
I couldn't believe people were complaining about the extension. That to me is like, bro, like we gotta have a better handle on how these rosters work than to be like seeing Rusnák extension and then crashing out. The extension is giving you the outcome that you want.
And it seems very possible that Rusnák feels like he could have like San Jose, DC, like written on his Wikipedia page, like anytime, very soon. Like it seems DC, New England, San Jose, these are the teams that it feels like for a TAM deal offseason, I could see us sending him that. Because like we just gotta move it because now it's easier to move him with him being a TAM deal instead of a designated player. Anyway, I'm excited for Joveljić. I think he's gonna be exciting. I am sad that Peter Kingston got a yellow card, so we don't get to see him defend Lewandowski.
Bob versus Pete. That would have been a good matchup. Robbed of Bob versus Pete.
Very sad by that. Let's keep it going. Hopefully I would still hope that we hear of another signing in this next week. Because we still need bodies. I mean, like still looking at the people who are on the bench, like we still need more depth for the people who we did ship out. But I think that's all from me today.
Hell yeah, Nat, good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, see you then.
All right, last call of the evening. We got Tribe. I know you guys have been waiting to hear what Tribe thinks of all this. Are there any super chats that I gotta hit? Maybe more jewels, Sounder 74, those new jewels. I don't know. Thank you guys for all the love and support tonight. Appreciate you all tuning in as always. Like the video, sub to the channel, help us on the road to 4K. Please subscribe, LobbingScorchers.com. We're churning out the written content. It's a lot of fun over there right now. So don't miss out. Toss a sub there on the new independent platform as well. But let's get Tribe in here. Tribe, welcome in. You're on the stage. The losing streak is over. It's a 1-1 draw. The squad fights back. KKR with the equalizer. Albert Rusnák with an assist. Dejan Joveljić apparently about to be on the Seattle Sounders. I mean, where do you want to start, Tribe?
I want to start with Dejan Joveljić, man. I'll tell you this. This is 1/7 of the issue solved. We need to get more bodies, like Nat said. Exactly, we need to get Manungu back. That's my first priority, because we have wingers that are. We have a winger that is in a DP spot that can't even play a single game. Genuinely, it's horrible. You have a striker / winger that can't play a single game as well. Well, exaggeration in Jordan Morris. So those are 2 DPs. How many minutes have we gotten out of them? How many minutes? Not even 500 in total, probably. Not even. It is a waste of money, and I am very, very happy about Albert Rusnák becoming going down from that contract. I wish that every single DP that we had was not a DP, because we don't have a single true DP. It just doesn't feel that way. But Dejan Joveljić, what an absolute! I thought we should have signed him straight from LA when Rui Diaz was going down the hole. Well, yeah, down the what's it called? Down the rabbit hole when you it just sounded weird for a second. I want to correct myself now. I'm taking myself in deeper. My bad. But I thought we should have signed him directly from LA when Rui Diaz was sort of going down that path towards retirement. Because obviously he wasn't going to be able to stick with the Galaxy, all the restrictions, financial shit, all that. It wasn't going to happen. I am extraordinarily happy about Dejan Joveljić. He's going to be scoring goals no matter what. That's the thing about him.
He's been banging in goals for Sporting KC, and they have been awful.
Yeah. He's one of those strikers that just finds a moment. He doesn't need much at all, you know. It's incredible. And he's a huge aerial threat. He's like Juan Dineno of Pumas. He's a huge aerial threat. He can get up very, very high. He's 6 feet. So I mean, he's not too tall. Like it's hard to it's not too hard for him to get around people because he's not too tall. But he's super athletic. That's the thing about him. That's what you want. You want a 6-foot athletic striker. He's unbelievable.
He's not like a big lumbering guy.
No,
he's an athlete. He's an athlete.
Exactly. Although I would call Osaze an athlete, of course.
I would.
Yeah, but he's not quite that big guy, you know, that doesn't have the ability to get up as high as you need to for some of these. He's just incredible. Honestly, what do you think about it? Do you think if you were to sign a striker right now from MLS, would it have been Joveljić or someone else?
I'm trying not to overstate it or overhype it because I know that people are going to say that I'm just gassing it up just because Seattle did it, and people are also probably going to say, "Oh, weren't you gassing up Jesus Ferreira like this?" And my response would be like, "Yes." And I mean,
not as much.
Not as much, and also I would argue that was both merited based on his track record, and also outside of like this last losing streak, Jesus Ferreira has been a productive player for this team, especially because he hasn't been on a DP spot. I know he kind of went cold the last like few weeks, so his stock was down before he got injured. But like I think the whole premise of like him being an intra MLS target, that heightening the odds that the acquisition is going to hit, and then seeing that pan out, I think that has pretty much panned out. But all that being said, if I was making a list, and I think I said this already, but if I was making a list of number 9s within MLS that would make legitimate needle moving, difference making targets that the Sounders could go get, this guy would be not only on that short list, but arguably at the top of it. Hugo Kuipers is probably, I know he just went, but like if we're talking about guys that were, Hugo Kuipers is probably the only one that I would say I really comfortably, or I would take him over Dejan Joveljić. I mean, you could put a couple.
Sam Surridge might be up there.
Sam Surridge, but that's this is what I'm saying. Like people hear a name like Sam Surridge. I think Joveljić, if he's not better than Sam Sturridge, he's at least in that relative vicinity of quality. I think that's pretty indisputable. Like he's in that mix.
No,
which
here's
is the
my
mix that you
question
need.
for you.
That's the mix that you need. Yeah.
Yes. Here's my question for you. Do we want new ownership now over this, or are we still set on new ownership? In your opinion?
I mean, I don't think one signing, even if it is a signing that we like, I don't think that changes like how I think about anything yet. I'll see what they do, because if it's a situation where they're like, all right, Dejan Joveljić and call it a day, and we're not going to do anything else to improve the team, then I think everyone would have a right to sit here and be like, all right, well, that's nice, but it's not enough. So let's see how it pans out. But I wouldn't let anybody off the hook yet, if that's what you're asking. Not off one.
Today was a very good day. There was passion on the field today. You could see it. You looked at the lineup before, and you see just 4 starters. And it's a horrible lineup because that's what we have available. 4 starting players, maybe 5. I don't remember the exact lineup now. I think around 4 starting players. It was horrifying to see. I didn't get to watch the full match. I got to watch the second half, which is when they really kicked it up a notch. I saw the very early goal on the score sheet because I was very busy. I saw it. I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be over. Then I turned on the game. I saw a different team than the team that played Portland and all the other the team that played Chivas in the second half. It felt different. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just felt, what's the word? There's just something that worked. Rusnák was doing very well. I haven't seen him play that well for a good while. And kossa-rienzi is always a bright spot in this team. I'm just worried what's going to happen to him. We need to keep him. But with the track record of this team, the players that aren't necessarily starters just seem to be shipped off. What do you think is going to happen with Kalani? Do you think we're going to be able to keep him?
They seem to really like Kalani, and he's got the UW connection, and I think he's a great fit stylistically. I think he brings like a skill set and profile to that position that they need, like his pace and athleticism. I think it's such a weapon at that spot, especially with when Schmetzer ball is functioning at its intended level. You have like a fullback from that spot that can bring the attacking attributes that he can. But like looking at it right now, man, he's like one of the only guys scoring goals for the team. Again, like I said, it's him and Stu Hawks are the creative goal scoring impetuses behind the Seattle Sounders right now. So they can't lose KKR.
Absolutely. I've been up for 24 hours because I had a crazy Friday. But the last thing I will say before I go is things are looking a little bit better. Don't be too hopeful yet. It's only one signing. We don't have all the change. This is just my opinion. We don't have all the change that we need. Not at all. To change the course of the season alone. Not at all. We also need players to come back from injury. We need results to go in our favor around the league. And we also need a little bit of flair from some of the players who haven't been performing, such as our DPs. But with that being said, it's a good start to have a team perform like they just did in a pretty difficult place to play, by the way, with a squad that sort of reminded me of that game against Austin a few years back with that Rui Diaz banger. My God, I think that kind of flashed through everyone's mind when the lineup. But see, the context of this being in the middle of an 8-game losing streak, it made it feel so much more daunting. Man, the fact that team went out there and actually took a point is I don't want to. I know we're all more interested in Joveljić right now, but like that was I appreciated that effort from the squad tonight. I really did. I was proud. Proud. I felt pride wearing the badge for the first time since 2 games before the World Cup, let's say.
Yeah, and it's nice to feel like that after what we've been through, Tribe. Like the
absolutely
last 2 months.
I will say, Joveljić, unbelievable signing. I when I saw it, I was just screaming. It was unbelievable.
It's kind of a cook. I had to get on here and talk it through with you all just to make sure that I wasn't, getting over my skis. But like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh,
no,
hell yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, one message for the Brigaders because we can't forget about them, can we? But they just want to cut Rusnák completely. Dude, we need people. That's the whole issue. We need depth. We need a squad. It's better to have Rusnák on a much lower salary without him taking up a DP spot because he's still a very good player. He still is, but not DP level. So we need to keep Rusnák, and I've been seeing that all over Facebook. It's incredible.
People just saw extension and immediately went to a dark place.
People not read what's going on here.
I think when the dust settles and they realize like why that happened, maybe the reaction will be a little bit different. But I mean, I don't know. That's my theory on why there's been some crash out over that.
No, it is what it is. There will always be crash out over certain polarizing issues in the Sounders community. It is what it is. You gotta love it though. You gotta love the debate. That's what we're here for. I gotta go to sleep. I am exhausted, and it is 9:02. Hopefully, I'll wake up at around 8, 9, or 10, and we'll see if the sleep schedule can get back on track, just like we hope the Sounders will. Let's go.
Tribe, good stuff as always, man.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Have a great night. Yes?
You too. Take care.
Let's go.
Catch you on the next one. All right. That is it for the queue tonight. So I'm going to get out of here on that. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in. Go ahead and drop a like on the video if you have not already. I don't know what we're sitting on, but it's not enough. Help us on the road to 4K. Subscribe, lobbingscorchers.com. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. Drop a little link in the chat to our latest. I wrote a little newser on this Dejan Joveljić stuff. There you go. I don't think it's going to tell you anything that you don't know at this point, but give it everyone in chat. Please click on this. Click on this. Give us a click. Toss us a sub while you're at it. Shout out to everyone who has already subscribed. I want to say that the support that we have gotten on our new independent venture is honestly incredible. It's humbling how many of you have already shown us love and support. So appreciate you all. It's a non-loss for the Seattle Sounders, and it's Dejan Joveljić ostensibly joining the squad. This is big news, people. A new number 9, but a number 9 that has already scored a lot of goals in Major League Soccer. Scored a goal in Major League Soccer that knocked the Seattle Sounders out of the playoffs in 2024. So, improved vibes, some excitement around here, some positivity around here. Good to see. We'll see if they can keep it rolling. But for now, we get a respite from the losing streak, a respite from never having a rumor, and a new striker could be on the way. Hopefully they finalize that. It would be a bummer if we hyped it up like this and then it fell through. But anyway, I'm out of here on that. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Catch you next week. Catch you on Monday. Lobbing Scorchers kickoff, 8 a.m. Peace.